harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. Humanity is at its lowest. Why? Because men are becoming weaker and weaker, and as we know, all cruelty springs from weakness. Today, we will see the 5 ways you can become a dangerous but disciplined beast. I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction than maybe what you would think. Men typically think about martial arts or firearms training when it comes to danger. No, while these are indeed important things to learn, they are not the only skills you need to become dangerous. I too am in the military and trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I know too well about the efficiency of these skills. These are essential skills to literally protect yourself and build situational awareness. But what I'm going to give emphasis at are the so-called soft skills. No, you're not going to get soft learning them. In fact, you will become even more powerful and closer to a dangerous beast of a man, a true Sigma. Let's begin. But first, don't forget to smash the subscribe button violently for more. Number 1. Build confidence. I know that most of you realize that you have to develop confidence or have a desire to develop confidence. I can't tell you how many people I've seen who are so weak and so passive and lack any level of confidence in their lives. And of course, when they're faced with a violent situation or a natural disaster, or even just as something as simple as asking for a raise or asking a woman on a date, they have no ability to do this because they don't have any confidence in themselves. And what these guys believe is that somehow that some men are just born with high levels of confidence. That's not the case. There may be pride, there may be an overinflated ego and a sense of arrogance, but you don't get to be confident just because it has to be earned. So you have to go out and do the things that are going to make you confident. You have to go out and earn that. As you're sitting here listening to this video and thinking to yourself, well man, I'm just not confident around women, or I'm not as confident around my boss, around highly successful people, then the next question should be, what can I actually do in my life to develop more confidence? What you need is to be courageous, and any one of us in the right set of circumstances with the right mindset can exhibit courage. When we exhibit the courage to go do the things that we're afraid of, we get done with that thing. And we realized that maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, or that it was bad, but I did it anyway. And it's through developing skill sets, it's through developing the ability to overcome the things we're afraid of that gives us the level of confidence that we need. And when we're confident, we can be more dangerous. I'll give you an example. I started BJJ last year and was petrified when going. But I told myself, you're more than physically capable, so you can do it. And indeed, I was quickly very good at it, even going toe to toe with much bigger individuals in terms of weight. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the best, or I'm going to be someone like Gordon Ryan, for example. But if I can do that, you certainly can as well. Number 2, develop assertiveness. These next 4 points will certainly help you develop more confidence in your life. There are 4 communication styles that I want to point out. Passive communication. The passive communicator is pathetic. He doesn't share his ideas, and when he does share an idea, he makes excuses or apologizes for those ideas. Very rarely is he taken seriously. The passive-aggressive communication. The passive-aggressive communicator tries to pretend like he's passive or good in some way, and yet he's actually a very aggressive individual. He's just good at disguising it. This is the individual who can't take anything seriously. They've got a joke for everything, they're sarcastic, they're undermine, they mock, they ridicule, they put others down, but they do it in a sly way. They give underhanded comments and compliments, which they do not believe. They make light of everything, and they mock everything. They don't deserve my respect, and certainly not yours. Aggressive communication. An aggressive communicator wants to railroad everybody. He is unwilling to communicate with other individuals or take other things into consideration, and he just dominates and bulldozes everybody in every circumstance. Obviously, we don't have a good success with this individual, and people don't like this type of individuals, so they don't make great leaders. An aggressive communicator might be able to get things done, but can't do it long term. Assertive communication, or Sigma way of speaking. In other words, you're willing to take on new ideas and new perspectives, and you're taking other people's thoughts and ideas and feelings into consideration. And yet, you have a very clear idea of what you want. You're willing to and capable of sharing your ideas with other individuals. When you see that there's a problem, you don't push that off. You're not passive about it, you're not aggressive by bulldozing it, but you're taking all of the stimuli into consideration to figure out the best way forward. The most assertive individual is going to get the job done, the majority of the time over the longest period of time. Don't put the blindfold on. Don't pretend like threats don't exist when conversation needs to be had. Don't bury your head in the sand and think that if you just keep it there long enough that somehow this threat or this conversation or this circumstance will go away. It won't. In fact, it gets worse, and so a dangerous and capable man is able to recognize conversations and situations, and then he addresses those as quickly as possible, as efficiently and effectively as possible, to A, neutralize the threat, or B, to get further to advance the cause, whatever they may look like. Number 3. Know what you want. Knowing what the ultimate objective is. I know that if I asked 100 men to tell me what they want, most would probably say something like, well, I want to make some more money, or I want to have a better relationship, or I want to be fit. And although that is good, I think that's a worthy objective that you should be striving forward. But I think that if you're not specific enough, that you're probably not going to accomplish that thing, and you're not going to know how to get there, and you're not going to be able to smash through the barriers that will inevitably present themselves. Now, if you're crystal clear, if you are a hyper-focused individual and very specific on what you want to accomplish, and say, I don't want just to get healthy, I want to be a 10% body fat. I don't want to be strong, I want to be able to bench 300 pounds or deadlift 400 pounds. I don't want to be wealthy, rather I want to have 10 million in my bank account. This is a huge distinction and difference. Number 4. Be an effective communicator. This kind of ties back into assertiveness, but there's so much more that goes into communication. Ultimately, you need to learn how to communicate effectively with others. So if you're negotiating a race, or if you're engaged with a would-be attacker, then you need to be able to communicate effectively towards the individual to produce the outcome that you're after. If you can't open your mouth and use your sounds and use your words in a way that will illustrate exactly what you're all about and exactly what you're after, then you're not probably going to achieve your objective. One of the interesting things about the topics and the points that I'm making with you today is that they're all intertwined. If you become a better communicator, you are naturally going to develop more confidence when you say something. It's going to be followed through, and then you'll realize you're capable of doing that. Assertiveness requires your ability to communicate, and vice versa. Your ability to communicate requires that you have some level of assertiveness. So it's not like these things can be taken out and isolated. These decisions can be made in a vacuum. They're all independent of each other. When you improve one area, whether it's communicating or knowing what you want and getting specific with that, or assertiveness, or developing confidence, if you improve just one area, other areas elevate and improve as well. It's not going to get comfortable, I know. I should say you're going to feel awkward and out of place and inadequate, but this is how we develop the ability to communicate effectively, which makes us more capable, which ultimately makes us more dangerous. That's number 4. It's learning to communicate effectively. Number 5. Educate yourself. Friends, you got to educate yourself. Knowledge alone is not enough. You can't read a book and assume that because you read it, that somehow you'll be able to apply this effectively in your life. You've got to be knowledgeable. You've got to know some of the harder skills, like martial arts, like firearms training, like situational awareness, and what to do in tactical situations. You've got to know how to be assertive. You've got to know the information that you're going to be communicating to other individuals. You've got to gain new credentials and new designations and new degrees. I have other skills that I'm developing right now, whether it's something as simple as playing chess or my ability to shoot from a low ready position as fast as I can. Furthermore, educate myself on physiology and biology and how the body and the mind works so that I can make myself into a more effective tool. If I can do it, I guarantee you can do it as well, my fellow man. Now, ask yourself, how can I incorporate this into my life? Don't watch another video and just take 100 push-ups or 50 pull-ups. Stop listening to the people that try to make men weak. Weak men bring disasters to everyone around them. But it takes just one strong man, just one, to stop their pathetic attempts to alienate us. Be that man, be strong, be dangerous, but control. If you like my video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.